It's common knowledge nowadays that Peppa Pig is a show that has conquered the world and literally airs in almost every country on the planet. But there are many differences between some episodes depending on the region, and in some places, Peppa is simply banned due to its association with crimes. Did you know that? Peppa was a show that went absurdly viral in China around 2015 when it received over 13 billion views on China's state-run streaming platform. But not long after, every trace of Peppa in China was obliterated from the face of the earth without a single remnant left behind, because the innocent British piglet was quickly adopted as the main mascot of a highly dangerous criminal gang in China. Apparently, the pronunciation of Peppa Pig in Mandarin can be associated with the slang term "Shehuiren," which means people of society. This led to a specific gang using Peppa as their literal mascot and main symbol for identifying members of their group. Tattoos are highly frowned upon in China, and members of this gang began to literally tattoo giant Peppas on their backs and other parts of their bodies. Imagine that. It's like the koi fish and dragons that the Yakuza use in Japan, but instead, it's a crudely drawn piglet that looks like a child's drawing. All those theories about Peppa being rude and disrespecting everyone finally seemed to have some basis, at least in China. But this didn't last long, as sometime later, there was a rebranding effort, and Peppa was relaunched in China, this time without major issues like before. But I bet you weren't expecting that bit of information today. Huh? So grab your gangster piglets, because today we've gathered more super curious facts about how Peppa is altered, censored, and even banned in different countries, right here on Zigzag. There is another case of Peppa being banned in another country, but in this case, it was just a single episode. In the episode Mr. Skinny Legs, Peppa finds a spider and gets terrified, running to tell Daddy Pig, and he, in his wisdom, as a bumbling fool who never gets anything right and is always the butt of the jokes, says that Peppa shouldn't be afraid of spiders because they can't hurt us and are our friends. Excuse me? What? Maybe that works with British spiders, which probably just drink tea at 5 o'clock and are dealing with mass immigration issues. But in other parts of the world, it doesn't quite work like that. Now, imagine you're a parent living in Australia, and you see this piglet telling your kids not to be afraid of spiders. Let me repeat that. Not being afraid of spiders in Australia. Australian spiders have their own homes and can melt your face off with a single breath of fire. There are cases of people fist-fighting kangaroos, but you can't do that with a spider that attacks your child because they thought spiders were friendly. Kangaroos, no matter how strong they are, only have 2 arms. Spiders have 8. There's no way you're winning a fight against something like that. Even anti-spider venom doesn't work because Australian spiders use venom as whey protein before hitting the gym every morning. Another episode that was banned in multiple countries was The Playground. The episode itself isn't anything extreme. It's not like the spider episode, where specific elements of a country could make things more dangerous than elsewhere. This episode was banned simply due to different regulations on what is acceptable in a preschool show. In this episode, Peppa and George go from one playground attraction to another, and some of these activities were considered too dangerous for the show's young audience. Since children of that age are easily impressionable and influenced, certain broadcasters in some countries decided it was best not to air the episode to avoid problems. A good example of how this episode could give the wrong idea to preschool viewers is this scene where Peppa goes on a tire swing and climbs inside the tire while swinging. The potential for things to go wrong here is enormous. And even though it's just a silly cartoon, something does go wrong. Peppa gets stuck in the tire, and that's probably the least bad thing that could have happened. Another scene that could give the wrong idea is when Daddy Pig gets stuck in the slide, and Peppa and the others decide to climb up all at once to try and unstick the big pig. Then, one by one, they start bouncing off his belly. Of course, we know this is just a cartoon, and it was only meant to make fun of Daddy Pig, but depending on the little one watching, they might get the idea to jump on the belly of a lying adult or something like that. Did you know Peppa Pig had been banned this many times? If you're learning something new from this video, type #PeppaBan in the comments so we know. Another episode that was completely banned happened again in Australia. The episode Tall Grass, doesn't seem like a big deal in itself. We just see Peppa and George having fun in the tall grass that grew in their backyard thanks to Daddy Pig's negligence in cutting it. So far, so good, right? Wrong! Because even though tall grass is something totally harmless in most parts of the world, we have to remember, we're talking about Australia, and besides giant insects, venomous animals, goblins, and dimensional demons that live in the Australian wilderness, another equally terrible thing thrives there in large numbers and can be nearly impossible to spot in tall grass like this. Snakes! That's right. The episode was banned for showing the two protagonists happily playing in tall grass because this could definitely be traumatic for Australian families if their children didn't take the necessary precautions to avoid tall grass anywhere in Australia. So, if you live anywhere other than Australia, you probably don't have to worry about playing or walking through tall grass like this. You know when you see something completely innocent and no one around, you thinks anything of it or sees anything wrong. But then, the moment someone points something out, you can never unsee it again. Well, Ireland ruined an episode for me. So now, I have to return the favor and ruin it for you too. The episode Gym Class is another perfectly innocent episode, right? Peppa and her friends go to the gym for various physical education activities, led by Grandpa Rabbit. They climb ropes, balance, warm up, everything normal that would happen in a PE class, right? But while watching these clips, we've already shown what the Irish took offense to. And I bet you didn't even notice, did you? Well then, take a look. All the students are wearing white clothes. But the completely unrelated problem is that Susie Sheep is also white. The exact same shade as the shirt that everyone is wearing. And because of this, the regulatory body for preschool programs deemed the episode inappropriate. Because due to the shirt blending with Susie's wool, they claimed it looks like she isn't wearing any clothes. And there you go. Now you can't unsee it either. Just like Ireland ruined this episode for me. No need to thank me. Want to completely erase this information from your memory? Then hurry, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can watch the episode the right way. This episode was banned for a reason that I found hilarious. The episode, Bicycles, was banned in practically every country where Peppa is aired for the same reason. The episode showed the children riding bicycles without helmets or any protective gear. The producers of Peppa made a small change and put helmets on everyone, and then the episode was allowed to air again as usual. But there's only one country where the original, unaltered episode is still shown. Of course, we're talking about Brazil, right? Hardly anyone cares about wearing a helmet while riding a bike over there. And since that's such a normal thing, the agencies regulating these types of programs didn't see anything wrong with the episode. So it still airs normally in Brazil without the change. Have you ever heard that phrase, Brazil is not for beginners? Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense now. And to wrap things up, we have the most ridiculous reason for banning an episode on this entire list. If you thought influencing gangs and encouraging kids to fistfight buffed-up spiders were good reasons for banning an episode, then clearly you don't know about the episode Grandpa Pig's Chickens. The reason an entire episode was banned in the United States was they say the word stupid once. That's it. That's literally it. One time in the episode, someone says the word stupid, and boom, the entire episode was banned. What a stupid reason, huh? And this comes from the United States, the same place that produces cartoons like BoJack Horseman and South Park, which kids in Peppa's target age group will definitely end up watching, even if just by accident. But oh dear, such a heavy word. What will become of society?